Hi, my name is Alexandra Fine. I am the CEO and co-founder of Dame Products. We believe that sexual pleasure is an integral part of our well-being. Sex is often a part of our most profound relationships. It is literally how we exist. It can often be a part, too, of some of our most traumatic and worst moments, and I think that really speaks to how powerful sex is. But we do very little to optimize for the pleasure and avoid the displeasure. And that's exactly what Dame is trying to do. We believe that by talking to customers and working with clinicians, sex therapists, doctors, naturopathics, we can create a holistic offering of products that help us connect with our sexual pleasure. We do focus on serving vulva owners first. There is a pleasure gap. Women are 4 times more likely to say that sex has been not at all pleasurable. So we do center first on the female experience. Our customers love us because we include them in our product development, because we position sex toys like they're no big deal and that they're a healthy part of your self-care and self-love routine versus something shameful or naughty or used to attract a partner. We launched in 2014. I actually wanted to be a sex therapist for a long time. I have my master's in clinical psychology. And my joke is that I'm too impatient to be a therapist, so I became an entrepreneur instead. I had a bunch of ideas for how we can create innovative products that really serve the needs and desires of people with vulvas. Our first product was Eva, which is a hands-free control vibrator that can be worn during sex. And we launched it on Indiegogo and raised $575,000 in 45 days. That was all the way back in 2014. So we've been around for a little bit now. We have over 11 products, 7 of which are vibrators, and the rest are consumables, replenishable products that also help us access more pleasure. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I just kind of really felt that sex was one of the things in my life that made me feel good. And it helped me recognize what it meant to feel good in my body and what didn't feel good. It really empowered me to enjoy my life. Yet I felt very much like there was a stigma, there's a taboo, a double standard when it came to engaging in our sexualities, and I wanted to change that. And one place that I saw it's like calling out for opportunity was in sex toys. There was no brand that was started by a woman that was catering their content and education and products to people with vulvas and vaginas. And it would just seem so obvious. So here I am, making the world a more pleasurable place, one vulva at a time. All right.
Hello, my name is Sarah Seward and I'm the founder of Enough Period. We are a full-spectrum CBD body care line targeted towards menstrual pain. You can think of us as your new cycle staple. The mission behind Enough is to naturally relieve period pain because statistically found more than 80% of those who menstruate suffer from extreme discomfort every month, myself included, and it's something we just don't talk about enough. What makes us stand out as opposed to every other CBD line out there is that we're kind of in this great little niche. We are a CBD line and we're also a period company. And having those two things really be the DNA of what makes enough gives us a special place to kind of give back to the community as well. We give a percentage of proceeds to cannabis injustice as well as period poverty because it only really feels right to give back to where you're coming from. Another thing that I feel like makes us as strong as we are is our potency. We're 1,200 milligrams in a 2-ounce jar, making the ratio of each scoop that you use just a little bit stronger than the leading competitors. Our number one customer feedback and data is that it actually works. Every single person that has used it has given us feedback that, oh my God, I can't believe this works. And truthfully, it's true. Formulating this, the whole goal behind it was to make sure that it works. When you're in search of comfort, when you're in pain every month, and it's the only thing you can think about, you need something that works. You need something you can grab, that's easy, that's on the go, that's topical, and that works. In 2021 and 2022, we have a few new products coming out that I'm very excited about. Can't share too much, but they are all still focused around the main mission, which is to relieve period pain naturally. And we're pretty excited about it.
Hi, my name is Bree Harrison. I'm our Senior Director of Business Operations here at Nova Bay Pharmaceuticals. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about our product, Celerx Clinical Reset. Celerx Clinical Reset is a prescription-grade, non-stripping spray solution formulated without harmful byproducts such as bleach and other impurities. It was originally developed for plastic surgeons and dermatologists to aid in healing times post-procedure on skin. Clinical Reset by Celerx clears skin aggressors for a calmer, more balanced skin. Celerx is truly groundbreaking as it's the only and first FDA-cleared skincare product proven to help clear up and reduce bacteria buildup on your skin. It is also the only pure form of hypochlorous acid with the longest efficacy of any of the products out there. We've patented this formula by bringing the same molecule your body naturally produces to fight bacteria and viruses inside your body, outside your body. Originally, Celerx was available through dermatologists and plastic surgeons only. We rebranded Celerx in November of last year, 2020, to be able to bring it directly to the consumer. During our market research, we realized that there is no other product out there like Celerx, so we're really launching into a new market. We also are very happy that Celerx doesn't conflict with any other product, so it can be added to your beauty regimen. It also is a super fine mist, which allows you to be able to use it post-workout over your makeup. If you go out and take a walk, if you go for a jog in the middle of the day, you can spray Celerx mist on your face, and it won't make your makeup run, and it will just break down the bacteria that has built up on your skin. I personally keep it at my desk and use it every day, and I also use it as a part of my morning and evening beauty routines. This year, just recently, as recent as November 4th, Nova Bay has decided to really expand its footprint in the beauty industry and the skincare market, and we purchased DermaDoctor. DermaDoctor is founded by Audrey Cunin and Jeff Cunin, both MDs. Audrey is a dermatologist, and we are looking forward to integrating with them and expanding the Celerx line with Audrey's guidance. So we hope you enjoy the product. We thank you for your time and looking forward to your questions later today.
Hi everyone, I am Amy, the founder of POM. At POM, we're passionate about hand care, and that's why we've created a system of products that help you nourish, protect, and clean your hands every day. All of our products are thoughtfully designed with your skin and the environment in mind, and that's why you can feel reassured that when you're using our products, you're really getting the hand care that you deserve. In 2019, I became a mother for the first time, and it was through this experience that my awareness of hand hygiene was at an all-time high. I was using hand sanitizer all day. I had it in my diaper bag, on my change table, in my front hall for when guests came over, and I quickly realized that the category just didn't have anything that really suited me. Everything was sticky and smelly and packaged in unpleasant single-use plastics, And the inspiration for Palm was born through that experience. I wanted to create the best hand sanitizer on the market. And that meant effective, indulgent, plant-powered formulas, thoughtful, design-driven packaging that was refillable and sustainable, and just products that would actually be enjoyable to use while cleaning your hands, which is an essential thing. In 2020, we launched with our hero product, our Antibacterial Hand Gel. This is our travel bottle, which is a TSA-friendly little bottle, and it's made of 65% PCR, so previously recycled plastic, and it's meant to be refilled. So we've created these refill bags, which are a low waste way of refilling your plastic bottles. That bag uses 60% less plastic than a plastic bottle. So you buy it and it actually refills your travel bottle over 5 times. So what you'll notice when you use the formula is that immediately it has a bit of a cloudy look to it. And those are our plant-based emollients that we've added to the ethyl alcohol that actually hydrate and nourish your skin. This is a really different experience. You rub it into your hands, it feels soft, smooth, and silky. And then of course you're gonna notice our burst of our signature scent, which is a blend of 5 essential oils. So there's rosemary and lavender and orange and lemon and cedar, which creates this really indulgent scent. Your hands are left with this feeling of being soft and nourished and clean, which is a really great experience, especially after all the hand sanitizer we've all been using over the last year. The next product that I'm really proud of is our in-home pump, which we designed from scratch. It is meant to be basically in any space in your home, your front hallway. I put it on my change table in between diaper changes. You can put it in your kitchen, and it's just an elegant way to sanitize in your home and to offer to your guests. And it has cute little branding, this little shiny palm on the top, and then our branding down the side, but it's really meant to be sleek, elegant, and minimalist, something that you'd actually want to have in your home. Now, this also gets refilled with our refill bag. Since our launch in late 2020, we've been featured in countless magazines, including Martha Stewart, The Coveteur, Glamour, and Forbes. And we've also won 2 really prestigious beauty awards, one from Hello Giggles, which named us their Best Luck Sanitizer, and another in Canada called the Kit Beauty Disruptor Awards, where we also won Best Sanitizer. I also had a journalist reach out to me personally to say how much she loved the product and that it was her favorite of over 400 she had tried this year. So we've really had a positive response from industry experts. We have seen consistent growth month over month on our website, and we've partnered with such retailers as the Detox Market, Credo, Maisonette, Beauty Heroes, the Webster, just to name a few, and they've been really amazing partners. So in the wake of our success, we're now looking to the future. And we're really looking at the hand care category as a whole and looking how we can improve upon our typical products that we use to care for our hands, looking at ways of improving formulas, using plant-based ingredients, using sustainable packaging, and just giving the category a bit of a facelift, if you will. And we're really excited and energized. We'll be launching 2 new products this fall of 2021, including our probiotic hand cream, as well as our exfoliating hand cleanser. Those will be in market toward the end of this year. And we're really excited to continue to grow our assortment in the hand care category beyond just our hero product. Since the pandemic, the hand sanitizer category has seen a huge change, a huge revolution, with lots of new brands coming to market, as well as existing beauty brands creating hand sanitizers. And we've seen an improvement in packaging and in formulation. So to stay relevant and to stay on top, you really have to stand out. And I feel like we have accomplished that. We've really looked at the in-home environment. We've really been thoughtful about our branding and our packaging. And then most importantly, our formula really does stand out from the crowd. So it's been a difficult, challenging experience to launch, but also really rewarding in seeing that we are onto something and that we are creating something that's going to hopefully lead the category. I am thrilled and excited to be sharing with you our story at the Founder Made conference, and I hope that you love your product, that you try, and that we can do something together. So please reach out and be in touch.
My name is Esther Lenore Ramirez. I'm the CEO and one of the founders at Session Goods, a modern cannabis accessory company. Now, at Session, our mission is simple. We want to inspire moments of indulgence. We want you to get cozy. We want you to lock down. We want you to just let your mind wander, giggle, connect. We feel that cannabis is wonderful, and having a bong should feel absolutely no different than owning a wine glass, especially with the way that the market has shifted. We believe in creating products that feel more like home goods than paraphernalia. Things that can sit along in a modern house, be left on a coffee table or on a shelf without immediately drawing attention to itself. We understand that it's not just one singular moment that impacts the entire experience. It's about thoughtful design through touch points on every aspect of what is your personal ritual. Session was started by a group of friends. We all had the same kind of concepts. We wanted to build something that felt like we could have it in our own houses. We wanted to have something that reflected this important part of our daily ritual in a way that felt on brand for our personal narratives. We started with the Bong. It launched in 2018 and has since become our best-selling product. It is unlike any Bong you've probably seen on the market. It was intended to be a little bit more elegant, to focus on the shapes that are more common in barware or water vessels or decanters. We created this conical shape with an indent. The indent both works as a house for your lighter as well as a hand grip. The silicone footer protects the base as you sit it down on hard surfaces, but it also marks where the water line should be, and it offers an extra level of customization. Each silicone piece is interchangeable and swappable, and as we release new colors, you're able to customize and mix and match. Shortly after we launched our hand pipe is perfect for people who are on the go. It's made to be able to pack a bowl, and you pull it into your carry sleeve. This protects it while it's in motion, but at the end of the day, when you are finished smoking, you also don't have to worry about resin or ash getting in the rest of your bag, and it keeps all of the smell buttoned up. We recently launched our third consumable product, which is our one hitter. This is perfect if you are somebody who smokes joints. You can extend a joint in this. You can use it as a glass joint by loading it in itself, and it also works as an additional bowl for our Bong. Our Stash and Ash came in August of this year. Each of these products are intended to help extend the line, both in terms of storage of your herb, as well as ways to properly take care of the resin and ash and keep so in a way that won't smell. Now, as a brand, Session has been really proud of the work that we have put in. Over the course of the last 4 years, we have now secured patents on all of our top performing products in the US, Canada, and the EU. We have distribution partnerships in all of those areas. We have won 3 consumer design awards outside of the cannabis space, competing against companies that are significantly better funded, significantly larger, and significantly more acceptable industries. As a brand, we have been profitable since 2020, April, Q2 of 2020. And when it comes down to it, we're really excited about what this next year could come by way of partnerships and collaborations. We have a slew of new things joining the line through actual consumables in the sense of cleaning solutions. We're really developing out more accessories that can be taken on the go. We have a miniature piece that will come between the 2 products as a whole. And we are hoping that this process will allow us to meet with people who are interested in creating what is the beginning of traditional retail for these types of products. If you think about the fact that a wine glass is sold in almost every store, why should these be seen any differently than a piece of glass to better experience your products? Thank you so much. Once again, we are Session Goods, and we're very excited to be speaking with you today.
Love to just get a little context, because I know, we did the intro, but just, tell us like your background and, how, like, why do you decide to build the business that you built? Because this is such an incredible, group of founders. Bree, do you want to start? Oh, you're on mute.
The comment of 2021, right? You're on mute. So I actually am the Senior Director of Business Operations for Nova Bay Pharmaceuticals. And Celerx is one of our products. And we brought hypochlorous acid to the skincare market. So it's kind of something that what we found when we did our market research is nobody else out there really has what we have. And we wanted to bring a prescription grade non-stripping spray solution that can get through your biofilm without stripping your face of good bacteria and of all the things you need to keep your skin moist and healthy and pH balanced. So that's kind of what Celerx is and why we decided to bring it direct to consumer.
No, and I love, I mean, that it was prescription only. I have it here. If you guys see, the packaging's beautiful. There's a certain, you have to have it in a certain type of packaging in order for it to actually stay for 30 days. And it's so different than anything that, you know, like if, you know, they have the facial mists and stuff like that, you won't feel like that. It almost is like, I feel like it's like microbiome friendly type of product, which really makes a big difference for people that are ultra sensitive, which like I have, like, if you put any fragrance near me, I'm like,
me too.
red and I itch and the whole thing. It's like medium for everyone around me and me. So, and then Alexandra, I feel like you've had a very big week. And,
yes.
and we've known Alexandra since since probably both of us started I started at Founder Made, and she was like one of our first exhibitors and sold out of her product and just was, you know, you're just such a change maker in the industry. I saw Alden Press this week. I'd love for you to just, I guess, talk about, you know, your journey, you know, building Dame, but then also this crazy thing that happened with the lawsuit of the MTA that you've been basically, you did this since 2019, or you've been so just tell us about, like, you know, your mission and everything as well.
Yeah, so I'm Alexandra. I'm the CEO of Dame Products, and we make products for pleasure. So that's mostly like toys for sex, lubricants, body positioning pillows, arousal serums. And why I do it is because sex is an incredibly important part of our overall well-being. It deeply impacts our lives, helps us create some of our most powerful relationships. Sometimes it's a part of our worst moments. And I think that speaks to how important and powerful it is in our life, but we don't do very much to honor it, to invest in it. So I think, you know, along with the self-care movement and rise of just wellness, I think in the category or in the marketplace, we took on sexual wellness and sexual well-being. And that has been particularly challenging, particularly because it's just a taboo, and that the taboo is what I was like just so excited about why I wanted to start the business. But what I don't think I had realized was that taboo is going to impact my ability to actually do business. Like, so sometimes with the MTA, they said I couldn't run advertisements on the New York City subway system because I was a sexually oriented business. Meanwhile, they were running ads for erectile dysfunction pills.
Which is crazy, because as a New Yorker, I was on the subway multiple. I mean, it's not like we didn't see other brands having and male brands. But again, it's not like we didn't see those types of. So it's looking at this and looking at the press, and I think we should throw a link on the press in the chat just so people see. Megan from our team can put that in. But I would love, you know, I just think it's crazy. So tell us.
Because we're on the subway now is, by the way, how the story ends, which is we sued the city, the subway system, and we're running ads. So it feels really cool to kind of like stand up for sexual pleasure by also standing up for like our rights as a business owner and what the business does. So it was it felt good. It was a good marketing push, and it made real change, which has also been really powerful too, as we're building a brand. Like how we actually really impact the world, I think is important, and helps, you know, bolster also the fact that we make great products that are safe to use, fun, innovative, tested by a community of people, and also like clinician approved. So we have like OBGYNs, and pelvic floor therapist, a naturopathic doctor, and a sex therapist, all who kind of like review our offerings and give us their sign off.
I love it. I mean, I'm trying to show the product from, and I know the people that have discovery boxes are really just, I mean, super innovative. It's awesome. And the packaging just keeps getting better and better. So great. Esther, speaking of stigma, we actually had your product supposed to be in our discovery box. Then we shipped it to the logistics center and they would not pack it in the discovery box. So, but I know that this is a thing that, you know, continues to happen, and you're one of the few female CEOs in your industry. And your product looks like I mean, it's beautiful. It's so innovative. The fact that you guys have patents on it, I mean, it's so smart. So just, I mean, tell us a little about your background pre-Session Goods. So and then we can go from there.
So I joined the cannabis industry in 2014, but prior to that, I was one of the first employees at Everlane. At Everlane, I developed their accessory line. So if you've interacted with any of their duffel bags or weekender bags, those are all a part of my wheelhouse. I just moved to California from New York. I'd been recruited out for the job, and as any new Californian, you like go to the back of a record store and get a doctor to give you a weed card. And it was this experience that I felt like, you know, legalization was becoming more and more imminent on an adult level. And I started my first business selling other people's products online and found that there really was this gap in the market for products that could fit in an adult home, or something that aligned more with, you know, myself as a woman in my 30s who happened to enjoy cannabis, but, you know, everything in my house was curated, but all of the things that I used on a daily basis were kind of hidden away. And we wanted to create something that really felt like the equivalent of coming home and having a nice glass of wine, but for cannabis. And that's really kind of where we started. But to your point, we also exist in an area where for a long time, it's been a loophole to be tobacco only. We as a business feel that actually being associated with tobacco is more harmful than being, you know, open about the fact that these are used with cannabis. I've never seen anyone smoke a bong with tobacco in a successful manner, but yeah, we have issues with people not wanting to ship. We've had issues just in general with different types of access to capital. Banking is always an issue in our industry. It's definitely very rewarding when you do find people who are interested in giving you a platform, and we're really advocating and building a brand that hopefully will allow more women and more people to enter into the space in a way that is a little bit easier than where we've been. But at the same time, it's been a really fun time to be in cannabis, and I'm really excited about all the big movements that are happening in the industry.
It's awesome. I'm excited to go through like some of the product innovation that you guys are doing, because there's really some interesting pieces that you've created. Sarah, welcome. I know we started our roundtable on. I know you just got off a flight, so welcome. Where are you? Which I love that people are flying again. It's so nice. It's like amen. Where did you just land?
So I actually am home, and I recently got back from New York, but I got struck with COVID. So I am home for 10 days, you know, locked in the apartment. So excuse me if my voice is a little shaky here and there. COVID is no joke, is all I have to say. So I am excited to be traveling again, but comes with the consequences, I suppose. So in LA is the answer to your question.
Got it. Well, we're glad you're here with us, and this is why we have our virtual show. So we're glad you're safe and well. So tell us. I mean, we love the video. Tell us about Enough. Tell us about, you know, how you even, because like you launched this you launched this what, in 2019?
2020.
2020. So right when everything, you had your baby in 2019, right? Okay.
Yeah, great year to launch. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's Enough is it's a very personal brand to myself. It was more so me kind of constantly in search of a type of pain management that I could use other than just, you know, smoking weed every time I was in pain, or being able to use something where I was still able to go to work and still able to like bring it places and take it on a plane with me and keep the pain subdued, at least momentarily, to be able to go about your day. And so enough really started with me constantly searching for a CBD product that actually would like really stand the test, and not to bash any other CBD brand, but I feel like especially in the last few years, CBD has become such a common thing that sometimes it's hard to really know what potency you need, or what full spectrum or broad spectrum, or what really works for you. It's hard to kind of narrow in what really works. And it was more of a search of me just buying product after product after product, trying to really get the pain to be subdued. And at one point, I was just like, I feel like there can be a better way to go about this that I just need to kind of figure out. And so it was around the end of 2017 that I, went on the hunt for a lab and a farm and an organic farm that, makes USDA organic hemp, and kind of took the steps there. But selfishly really made the product for myself and just to go about my day, and then kind of expanded it a little bit into thinking that I can't be the only one that is, dealing with insufferable menstrual pain every month. And so it kind of spiraled from there.
No, but it's a beautiful product, beautiful branding. I mean, definitely launching in the midst of COVID and, is not easy. And I love all these entrepreneurs that are innovating, changing, packaging, changing, pivoting. So very, good for you to be doing this in the market. So, with that, I mean, I'd love to just talk about, especially because there are there's brands that, we were talking about stigma, and we're talking about these different things of like re-education. And I just would love to kind of go through and talk to everybody about distribution strategy and how you're thinking about it. And how are you thinking about it, during COVID, and then how you're thinking about it post. Alexandra, you guys are probably an incredibly large direct consumer business. I can't imagine you don't. But and of course retail as well, but how are you thinking about, that, and how it relates to, post, or I don't know if we're saying post, I don't know what to say after 2 years of this.
Medium post.
Living with the life and making
Part
the best
2.
of everything.
Maybe it's just like season 2, even though it kind of feels like season 8 of COVID. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I've always taken an omni-channel approach, which I really think has just helped the brand be more resilient in general. And now I think what's interesting is we're about 80% direct to consumer, 20% retail. And previously we had been 70-30. So it definitely swung a little bit more direct. But there's a huge portion of our retail partners that are selling online, like Goop, Free People. So it's still often an online experience, even with our retail partners. And retail partners have always been really help us advertise. They help us get the name and brand out there. I'm excited to continue looking at omni-channel and being really, selecting the right partners that can push the brand forward.
And so you think of retail as a little bit like a combination of marketing, distribution, but the marketing part is really, even if it's online, the marketing part's really a great
the
piece.
marketing part is like, really
it's almost
great.
like, okay, if Gwyneth, wants to puts it in her store, then we all, it's kind of like the stamp, like the Oprah's, favorite thing type of stamp. So makes sense.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really, really great.
It's great. And also like being in stores, I think there's a certain amount of like, trying to think of I can't think of a good store off the top of my head, but like, if the CVS has it, which we're not looking at CVS right now, but like CVS does have sex toys. So like when you go into a store and see our products, there's a certain element of it that helps destigmatize it. So we're in a lot of like spas and beauty stores. And we do quite well in those places. especially because we're offering something so different than everything else that we're selling. We really stand out in those spaces. Yeah, and I do think that thinking about your retail partners as real partners too is important and has been really helpful.
Do you think that you'll ever decide, I mean, speaking of CVS or, and again, these are totally different, we've talked to certain brands that's their whole retail strategy is Walmart, CVS, that's all we want to go towards, and it's not, yeah.
I don't know for sure because I haven't personally experienced it yet, but I get the sense that like you really want to make sure you're building a business for those distribution because it's like so sorry.
Hold on, I think we have somebody on. I think Esther, you have your link is I think somebody's on. Oh, perfect. Thank you guys. All right, Alexandra.
Sorry, my ADD is so bad. I get distracted. But I think you want to build like a business for those. Like you want to be really smart when you go into CVS. It is a lot of work. You have to have the right price point, and it's a lot of work. So for me, and also for my brand, I don't know if CVS is the right partner, but we launched this year with Bloomingdale's, Nordstrom's. So those have been really great for us. And yeah, we're excited to continue to grow.
Which is so great because I think you went from boutique, direct to consumer boutique. And then now, with the Nordstroms and these types of, department stores, a little bit more, mainstream, but again, like keeping that messaging really tight and the marketing really tight around it is super, super interesting. Bree, I mean, you guys are acquiring all these different, I want to talk about the acquisition part of your business as well, because I think it's super, super interesting, but how are you guys thinking about how are you thinking about educating people about Celerx? How are you guys educating people about Celerx? Is it mainly through dermatologists and you're going that route? Just give me some context and then we can talk a little bit more about your acquisitions that you're doing and how you're thinking about the distribution there.
Absolutely. So right now it's strictly direct to consumer and it's over our website. So we kind of pivoted from that really kind of clinical, clinical education to really being direct to consumer. So right now we're just on Celerx.com, but if I can just pivot into kind of the acquisition a little bit, one of our corporate goals this year was to grow by acquisition and really expand our footprint into the skincare market. So we also have a product called Avenova, which is for eye care. So we really wanted to have our corporate footprint be 50% skincare and 50% eye care. And that's when we acquired DermaDoctor, and DermaDoctor was founded by Dr. Audrey Kunin and Dr. Jeff Kunin. Audrey is really has been a trailblazer in the skincare industry. And so what we're looking to do is kind of expand the Celerx line under her guidance. When we launched, we just launched in November of last year. So it's just been a year and it was in the middle of the pandemic. One of the reasons bringing it direct to consumer is everybody was suffering from maskne and all of these other, skin conditions because their skin was sensitive and it was under a mask and there was all this bacteria. And so, we chose to launch it last year, but, our goal is to really expand the brand.
Yeah, I definitely went through that entire thing, and I was also pregnant during the pandemic. So I had like red everywhere. And so this product would have definitely, I couldn't use any type of product that, that was not for sensitive skin. And I had no idea that the mask was making me completely break out. So wonderful. Yeah. No, that's wonderful. So your plan is direct consumer mostly, and then using this new acquisition for distribution and thinking through that. You have no plans for retail.
So I think that's one of the synergies that DermaDoctor brings to the table. Definitely is their retail footprint is fantastic, and so I think under Audrey's guidance we will be able to kind of see where Celerx sits. I think we have a lot of opportunity in med spas because what we found is that during our market research is that a lot of the people that use Celerx or would use Celerx are, kind of in that 35 to 45 age range, and they're going to med spas and they're going to plastic surgeons and they're having work done. And really, Celerx aids in that healing process. You want your skin to be clean.
Yeah. And I'm going to talk about the ingredients, but I want to hear a little bit more about, Sarah, what are you thinking when in terms of you launched during the pandemic? Are you thinking complete direct consumer? CBD also is a hard time getting in. We've worked with so many brands that are like, we want to get into the mass retailers. And they do have now, we have CVS, we've gotten, a bunch of brands into CVS for and mass for CBD and stuff like that. But just how are you looking at it, and how is the market? What are you thinking in the market, as you're building your company?
Yeah, I would say that launching during the pandemic kind of forced us to be direct to consumer. And I kind of love that it's a direct to consumer situation. When it comes to menstrual care, I think breaking the stigma, including CBD involving in that, putting it in places that kind of just need a little more elevation of menstrual care could really be a great place. I know that but then again, exactly what you're saying, it's hard to be like, yeah, I've had so many people be like, this is a product that needs to be in Target. This is a product that I need to be able to buy tampons and buy something for the pain that I'm also going through. But having it CBD in it also makes it a little trickier than that. I feel like direct to consumer is the safest way that we can go. Not that it's the easiest. It's, it's still hard with it being CBD and payment processing and, banking and everything it's still all fluctuating and up in the air. But I think it would take a very specific retail partner to land together to where it would really make sense. I think I wouldn't put it in, just anywhere that would accept it really. We're being really strategic on where it should be, but trying to elevate menstrual care and finding a retail partnership that would kind of look at it in the same light, I think would be really helpful. But we're happy being direct to consumer. I think with the other products that we have coming out soon, it kind of makes sense for us to be direct to consumer until there might be an avenue for a retail partnership that fits the mold.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about the different the other different SKUs that you're launching as well, because I think there's some really interesting innovations that are coming out of it. Esther, how are you thinking? There's a stigma. So but we're going to destigmatize this because it looks like freaking Apple, it's beautiful. So how are you thinking about it? And how are you, is it mostly direct consumer? Tell us a little bit about your challenges and, how you're solving for them.
Yeah, so because of my previous business already being in the space on the retailer side, I had a lot of connections with distributors going into this. So we initially launched direct to consumer just because of our, we only did a small run initially. Over the course of the next 6 months, we started going to trade shows. We were able to get some distribution contracts, which allowed us to hit scale faster. So the distribution partners within our space specifically focus on a lot of the brick and mortar traditional smoke shops and corner store shops, things that aren't really our target customer. And it really freed us up to focus in on dispensary sales, as well as this kind of new environment of boutique. And we're starting to see some of the larger kind of retailers, for instance, we sell on Design Milk now. So some of these people who are focused on a little bit more creative, maybe a little bit edgier retailers, but our predominant business is direct to consumer through COVID. So now we're about 70% direct to consumer. But we are looking at these products have definitely been seen as something. Anytime I sell someone I make bongs, they're like, and then I show them and they're like, oh, I would have never known what this was. So I think for us, one of the big goals for Session as we market throughout the next few years of looking at the way legalization is shifting is how do we take something that has been previously seen as so kind of illicit and taboo and seedy and really frame it in a way that is no different than like a French press and can exist. And it's the same kind of appropriate. I think it's going to take a little bit of time before we're going to see it in a CVS or a Target, but that would be the ultimate goal of branding in terms of acceptance and experience.
I feel like Alexandra can share notes on the journey of how like, just in terms of how to like persevere through probably all the stigma and around the marketing and kind of what you've learned, along the way. Because I mean, again, 7 years ago when you started this thing, very different environment, and still you were fighting the MTA, in 2019. So still kind of like fighting your way, chipping away. How have you thought about that in terms of, marketing and changing an industry and reframing the conversation?
I think, reframing the conversation is just about like illustrating the ways it really is beneficial in your life, which I think both Esther and Sarah have both like done a great job of just using like their personal narratives and like about how it does connect with our well-being. These are things like for good, and giving people stories, statistics, information that help them make that connection. I think that's really how you change minds and change behavior. But it's tough. And, like I always think about the parallel between what I'm doing and the cannabis world right now. And it's same and also super different, right? Like, and it's just wild because I think they have a lot more laws often, right? And there's like a lot more, it's a little bit more political, even though I'd also argue my stuff feels super political too, but in a different way. I definitely use a lot of content, and I really believe in trying to own the conversation I'm having with my customers. Like, I don't want to rely, I want to grow my Instagram followers, but more, I really want to get people's emails. Like, I really want you to be connected directly to the brand, because third-party institutions don't usually favor us, or they're more scared of us. So it just doesn't make sense to rely on them. It's been another big learning. And I can also tell you guys why I think the cannabis industry, like some of the benefits, the moments I've been jealous, which is just like, I do feel like it's been easier for y'all to raise money. Like, I think because it is such a brand new space and it was growing, but while sexual wellness in some ways has been around forever, it's just been this like kind of undiscussed, huge industry. I was like, how come all the cannabis companies are raising so much money so fast? Like 3-4 years ago, I don't know if that's slowed down, when it was really tough for us, or really tough for me. So yeah, but definitely same, but also different. And also both really great for sexual pleasure, especially in women. Like huge, like the research around the relationship between cannabis and feeling in the mood and the way it relaxes predominantly people with vaginas and vulvas to like feel good in sexual pleasure. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it's, and I think that it is interesting how the conversation, and I'm so glad, we see, and again, we have a ton of female executives and leaders on this. And I think that, that just shows a testament to how we're shaping and reshaping the conversation, and how we're standing up for, certain things that, we didn't have a voice in previously. So it's really, really empowering and awesome. Another question I had, and again, Alexandra, you've been, because I remember what you had started with, I'm going to ask you, like, your first product. I remember you selling it at our shows, and now you've gone into all these different SKUs, and then you're doing these bundles, which I think are so smart. How did you get from, to like, how did you get from there to there, different packaging? How did you test the market and decide and change and pivot, in different ways? Like, how did you get the market research? What tell us some tactics of like listening to your customers, all the things that, kind of made you, because again, it's not cheap to change packaging, not cheap, especially with this type of a product, not cheap to change shapes or whatever the design on things. So I'd love to understand.
Yeah. I mean, one, we definitely always talk to our community. I feel like, direct to community. And so listening to what they want helps us always decide what we want to make next or what we want to improve upon that we already make. And then as far as changing packaging goes, like it's tough, but with a little bit of inventory planning, it doesn't have to, sometimes you can save money that way, maybe by like rethinking your packaging. Yeah, so we've just gotten better at that as the team has grown, and we've gotten better at having processes in place. We can be more agile and make those changes and experiment. We do always want to be like a little ahead of the curve and be trying out new things. And I do feel like consumer, like you can't be as agile as a software, you can't like A/B test the product in real life out in the world. But you can do that a little bit in prototyping, which we do, and you can continue to improve upon. For me, that's been something that I feel like sometimes I fear, but it seems to generally work out. It's like, okay, if we can make this product a little bit better, 1% better, like, unless it costs the same thing that it costs to develop the whole product, then it might be worth it. So we're always making those trade-offs, that cost analysis.
No, and I love the bundle. I feel like this is and again, I think I know Megan, who works with you, who's done the bundles at Glossier, right? I was like looking at the bundles and I'm like, this retail strategy is like, plug and, it's really smart in terms of, the beauty, the way the beauty industry kind of does those packages, and it really optimizes for a lot more growth and sales.
It's been great for us because as we've expanded too in different like products, trying to make sure that we still have like a high AOV and giving people a way of trying more things than just our vibrators. Like the bundles are great. And there's also a new reason to like get people excited, just something to chat about. We can just make new pieces of content, shop around Suppress, like, and it works. It's been an effective strategy for us in growing. Sometimes like the small changes you make can be really impactful too.
Yeah. I think the small changes of the bundling and then also doing partnerships with different brands is like such a huge opportunity to, just you don't have to, it's not like you have to, I feel like as an entrepreneur, you always feel like you need to like put out 20 different things and you want to do a new idea and you keep wanting to do new ideas. But like really at the end of the day, if you kind of stay with your core focus, but then kind of repackage and repartner, it really, can actually amplify the opportunity and, and get you still great margins. So it's really, really smart. Esther, I want to talk to you about your product innovation, because my goodness, I don't think I've seen anything as beautiful as what you guys have put together in the industry. So I would love to hear, kind of how you're thinking about it, how you guys got the patents and, the whole, kind of vision for, what you're thinking innovation wise.
So I was very fortunate in the early part of this kind of experience to meet my co-founders, which are all ex-industrial designers from IDEO. So already coming in from very strong.
It's so, I didn't know that these were from IDEO, and now this is like the business school. If anyone has like gone to business school, like the first video they ever send you or show you is like the IDEO people and how you should innovate with IDEO. So anyways, if people don't know IDEO, look them up. It's pretty exceptional, like the things that have come out of that.
It's very fun to work with because a lot of it just comes from focusing on the way that people interact with the products themselves. So our initial development, I came to the table with some things that I wanted personally, like specific sizing, the way that I didn't want it to look like a bong, but we wanted it to be very easy to clean, things that I felt were really important to my consumption. And they went out and came up with 20 different shapes and of different things made out of foam. And we really played and innovated. It took us 2 years to develop the bong. Throughout each of those processes, we would get a sample back and then we would do a focus group. So we would work with people who we thought liked cannabis. We're like, we don't know, we don't really talk about it, but we know that you probably use before you go to bed, or something that's like a bit more of a private consumption method. So we would watch them interact with the pieces. We would ask them questions on things that they wanted, things that were sticking points. And then we would also shop it to our friends that we also know definitely use cannabis, and talk to them about the things that they wanted. And we essentially nestled in on a shape that both appeals to everyone. The people who are diehard consumers like the fact that the line is completely modular. So if anything is broken, you can replace just that one piece, as opposed to having to go out and buy a whole new item, which had previously never been done before in the space. We really wanted to, I'm quite clumsy. So a lot of the reason that the silicone came into play was also because I talk with my hands and I knock things off. And so we have this kind of indent that houses the bowl so that you don't knock anything off as you're sitting it around. The silicone also protects it. If you put it down too heavily, it doesn't really you don't have to worry about breaking it. It's conical, so it doesn't tip over. A lot of these things came in from just real people having use cases. I would say the focus group surveys were quite interesting. And that is something that we've kept at our core as we develop new products. We bring in a list of our customers, and those customers can consistently test out the products while they're in development. The people who write us the worst reviews, who are the most particular, we invite them to be in focus groups and products so that we can also kind of learn from the way that they consume and the things that they care about. So it's really been a fun experience.
Esther, I love the CEO in you that's saying, tell me what is wrong with this product, and I'm going to figure out a way to solve it, but you are going to be my favorite customer right now. You know,
if you
I always say,
really
reject me, I love you. Reject me as much as possible so I can learn as much as I possibly can, or reject my product as much as possible so we can learn as much as we can, and we can do better. Yeah, it's
the
awesome.
Quality of feedback also indicates the quality of the design and the way that we can better ourselves in our business.
Right.
So if you were specific in your feedback, I will definitely invite you to tear apart our products.
I probably have a few people for you, so get ready. Bree, in terms of SKUs, and I mean, obviously through acquisition and different things, how are you thinking with Celerx? Is this one product, or are you thinking this is a one product, company, or how are you thinking about, that brand, and then in relationship to?
Yeah, so I think great question. So obviously that was one of our corporate goals, right? Is we didn't want to be a two-product company. So it was a matter of going out there and finding experts who were very well respected in the industry, and partnering with them through acquisition, and that's what we did. So really, it's Audrey is now is Nova Bay's Chief Product Officer. And so she is a true innovator, and obviously by their company and the quality of their products and the number of SKUs that they have, they really they kind of they have the same goal as Nova Bay does, is really like, there's a problem out there, let's create a product that can help you solve that problem. And so I think really our expansion is going to be through the acquisition of DermaDoctor and through Audrey's guidance.
Great. That's great. And, in terms of customer feedback, how are you, what's your way of or what's Celerx's way of getting customer feedback, and, I mean, you have beautiful, beautiful packaging. So I'm just trying to understand how you even got, I know that it was, it doesn't last if it's not in this type of packaging, but super interesting.
Yeah, so I'll just tell you a little bit about how we differentiate ourselves from, you'll see other hypochlorous acid products out there. The thing about hypochlorous acid is it is finicky when it touches anything. So if it sees sunlight, if it has plastic, if it has metal, if it touches anything, the efficacy begins to degrade. So our actual FDA clearance is the solution, the bottle, and the pump. And we deliver Celerx in the packaging with the pump outside with a special cap on it. So when you get Celerx, it is truly 0.01% pure hypochlorous acid. If you buy in the amber bottle, which protects it from sunlight, if you buy a product that's in a plastic bottle, or you buy a product that has the pump already inside of it, it may be pure when they put it in the bottle, but by the time you get it, the efficacy has decreased to the point where what's the point of even having hypochlorous acid in there? It's almost like you're spraying water or any of the other ingredients that may be added on your face.
Yeah, I mean, that's wonderful. Really, really great. Sarah, tell me about the innovation, and the different products that you plan to launch for Enough. Right here, and it smells wonderful, and the whole thing.
Thank you. We really wanted to launch with one kind of hero product that, one, doing like surveys and talking to hundreds of women. The main kind of thing that we kept getting back was that all of their pain and their discomfort was in a variation of areas, whether it was, sore breasts or lower back pain or cramping or migraines or all across the board. And so we really wanted to launch with one product that could kind of tackle all of these issues and was portable, and you could keep it in your purse and you could kind of rub it on. It wasn't too greasy. It wouldn't stain your clothing. And so launching with that main hero product was very important, that it could kind of tackle everything at like a base level of pain. Moving forward, we're looking into launching suppositories, because I feel like if you can, at least for me, if you can tackle pain topically and kind of internally, whether that's with tinctures, suppositories, or anything else, I think having the two work together, coincide, make it even stronger and make it just a easier way to sail through your monthly discomforts. So we're looking into suppositories as well as a few different tinctures. I'm very aware that almost every single CBD brand out there has tinctures, and everything across the board is very similar. So we're trying to be very specific on what we're launching. There are plenty of, intimate wellness brands and beauty brands and CBD brands out there that have incredible products. And I'm not really looking to just put out one of everything that everyone else kind of has. So we're being very specific on the reasoning for it and the specific ingredients and the specific cannabinoids, and really trying to hone in on making it a reason to launch, as opposed to just let's throw out every product that we can. So we're trying to be very intentional about it, but there will be suppositories in the future, which I'm very excited about.
Interesting. And I think it's also going towards your customer of like, what's the North Star customer of like the customer. I always like, a lot of my my mentors will say, go towards the love, obviously go towards the people that don't like your product as well, but also go towards the love of the people that are like, just love your brand and keep coming back and are huge supporters. So it's really interesting to see how you're, transitioning and really being thoughtful about what you're launching.
Yeah.
So
I feel like one of the main things that we have gotten back from almost every single customer is that our balm really works. I have so many people that write me in and message me constantly saying like, my husband uses it, or my boyfriend uses it, or all of these people are using it, not for menstrual pain, which is totally fine. Kind of just proving that we really are kind of hitting the nail on the head there with creating a product that is potent enough to work for very intense, either PCOS or endometriosis or all across the board, but also for, your partner to steal it if they tore their shoulder or if they're sore after a bike ride and are constantly using it. So it's nice to know that, people agree with me as well that it is working. And so the future products are all going to stay in the same element of really, destigmatizing cannabis and menstrual awareness, as well as really honing in on pain.
right. And I mean, the interesting thing is you could definitely get the market of healers, or get the boutique healers or the boutique, chiropractors, and kind of use them as like the evangelists, to help, kind of get the word out and to have people test the product and,
Yeah, I think we sit in a very interesting little niche of being not just another CBD brand, but being kind of in the sexual wellness and intimate wellness space as well as the cannabis space, and kind of staying in that specific area to just grow with.
So Esther, you had a very interesting distribution strategy that I wanted to talk about. Weddings.
Yeah, we're trying to push into weddings more.
I love this Session Goods wedding. Tell me about the wedding, and especially, post COVID, there's a lot of weddings happening. So just talk to me about, how you guys thought about that in terms of, launching with that and your whole marketing around it.
Yeah, well, it first started as a desire to have them at my own wedding. So it kind of came out, we wanted to create a piece. We talked about it for a long time, but we initially launched what we referred to as our designer collection, which is a monochrome black and a monochrome white version of our best-selling products. So our bong and our pipe and our cleaning tool. Through that, the more people saw it, we're like, oh, this would be perfect for weddings. So we've consistently been really pushing, because it's my go-to gift for people. But because for the first time these products have been packaged in a box, it is the first time they've really been able to be giftable. So even from one of our first 200 that sold, somebody wrote back and was like, I bought this for my friend for her wedding. It was one of the most amazing gifts that we gave. We've had a good amount of requests now for people buying groomsmen gifts. So we'll do kind of different discounts and things along that. We've really been trying to get put into more of an option in terms of like getting into the Zolas of the world on their registry sites, which they don't like us yet, but I email them every month and one day they're going to say yes. So a lot of it is just about really like focusing on what our long-term Pinterest strategy is. There are a lot of people looking at Pinterest specifically for different ways that they can elaborate on their cannabis bars. We did an actual cannabis wedding expo in Denver last month. So it's definitely something that people are already spending money for their weddings. So why not have a beautiful bong bar that's all, black and white colored, his and hers, or we're saying theys and theirs, bong bar. So the new future.
I love the new future, and I love the different types of marketing. I think there's no wrong answer when you're an entrepreneur looking for distribution. I mean, Alexandra, I feel like also, you guys could be doing weddings to get, it could be a real party here, in terms of, distribution and partnerships like that. Alexandra, I'm sure you've done certain like interesting, obviously, like, have you hit the wedding market? Have you thought about, or bachelorette market, or are you not, is that like kind of not where, I don't know, is there any creative things that you've thought about distribution wise that you wanted to do?
Not in that category, but I do think that it does make a lot of sense. And I think it would be fun if like Zola had like, you can give to a mysterious box, like thinking like, I don't know, my head just went to like fun ways of making that an experience on Zola that still keeps intimacy and consent and doesn't feel like, oh no. But yeah, I definitely think that's something I'm going to probably look into after this. So thank you, Esther.
I know. Great. I love the whole, and then in terms of holiday season, Alexandra, how are you prepping for that logistically, and just,
well, logistically is definitely the question this year.
Tell us the challenges that you're going through right now.
I mean, we're just trying to make sure we have, as supply chain has gotten more of a struggle, we've just been doing a good job of trying to make sure we have a little bit more product than we would normally have on hand, which is probably making the problem overall worse in general. If we all do that, right? But that's what we're doing. And we've also, between us, we're going to launch our Black Friday campaign tomorrow. So we're going to do it a week early because I want to ensure that people get their products and in time, and the earlier people can get going on it, the better we can plan. It just helps us too. So we've decided
to see a lot of seasonality in your business.
Yeah, we're really big in gift giving as well as just Valentine's Day. So we have like a big Christmas holiday push along with most consumer goods. And then we get a second one in, February, which is fun too. there's just growth all around. It's definitely seasonal. And I do think that, like, for me, knowing how it is seasonal and planning accordingly is really important. And understanding like the waves of my business has helped me like surf those waves better.
Which you wouldn't know if you hadn't been surfing them for for as many
yeah,
years.
and there's like a desire to not be seasonal. I think that like, so I don't know. So I feel like that sometimes maybe encouraged me to think about how we aren't seasonal, but really like it's important to just kind of like see the business for what it is and then plan based on those facts.
Right. And add probably different things that you can test out along the way to see if you can kind of spike, and spike different sales stuff as
exactly.
well.
Yeah. And like when we can push, I want to go with the surfing metaphor more, but like, yeah, like if there's like when there is general consumer intent, like work with it. Don't like try and fight against it, but like, we want to lean into those moments and be a part of the cultural conversation and like not just try and have people talk about sex toys all year, but like making sure we're riding the waves. Okay, I'm done.
No, I love it. You're not done. So my other question is, so now you have the MTA ads up, right? Which are beautiful, awesome. They really like, if you guys, look at their Instagram, it's pretty awesome. Surf those waves, as someone said. Gabino, thank you guys. Chime in with these nuggets of wisdom over here. So have you seen people think about different ways of spending money in Facebook ads, digital, whatever, all the different things, MTA. Where are you seeing, or what are you seeing? Are you seeing traction from it? Are you like, how are you looking at the way that you're spending money in marketing?
I think we're probably seeing more traction right now too, because of the press story around it.
Got it.
Than the actual,
which is great. It's like a double whammy.
Yeah.
It's like digital plus, I got it.
I think, out of home is really hard to track. You're not going to get that immediate conversion rate. Or like this, I think 5 years ago, we were all like addicted. Well, not me so much due to our challenges with Facebook, but like Facebook has totally changed as an ad platform over the past few years. And I don't know if we'll ever have something so it felt so controllable. So I don't know. But yeah, I think if you're going to spend money on out of home advertising, like you need to be prepared for it to maybe like just do nothing that first month. It's kind of part of that just general brand awareness, which is important. It's a really important part of your funnel. So I think it is valuable to put dollars there, but it's not going to convert immediately.
You need about 7 touch points is what, and that's the reject me, I love you, I think is what they say. You need at least 7 touch points from a customer. So it is really like the perseverance game of getting in customers, or having the word of mouth where you have people, working, and kind of evangelizing because they just love your product. Like go towards the love, go towards the violent, dislike. So you can really just keep, riding those waves. It's really the waves.
I think like whenever you can think about an advertising channel and why it makes more sense for your brands than other brands, and that's a good channel for you. Like for right now, out of home, like with a Subway, like there was a whole story there. So it really just kind of made more sense. Would not generally recommend advertising on a Subway during the middle of the pandemic, or the tail end or season 8, whatever we decided we were.
Subways are full though, so I think you're fine now.
Yeah.
At least my last experience, which is last week. Awesome. And Bree, how are you looking at marketing, in terms of, where are you finding the most ROI from? And again, I know that, you're kind of doing it in tandem with the other, brands that you guys have acquired. But how are you thinking about marketing, especially like who's your like target audience?
Yeah. So target audience is really that, like I said, that kind of 35 to 45-year-old, could be male, but predominantly female. But we've done Facebook and Instagram advertising, but we're finding success with micro influencers. So really kind of going to that TikTok and YouTube side of things. I think one thing about Celerx is really understanding how it works, why it's good. And so I think, using micro influencers and having them show actually how fine the mist is, spraying it on your face, why they like it. Also, we've had, dermatologists influencers as well. And so kind of getting, that, it's prescription grade and medical grade. So having that, that view from an influencer, I think is really important too. So
it's so interesting. We had a panelist today that was talking about how their TikTok strategy, and they got 5 million views. Like, she's like, I made the video in 5 minutes and we got 5 million views. Like, it literally like woke up and did it. And what she said, which I think is really interesting for TikTok strategy, is she said, on TikTok, people are searching for problem, and like they want to know a quick what's the problem and what's the solution. So how do you position it? I'm sure you're doing that with Celerx, which is like, what's the product, give me the solution to, or what's the problem, where's the solution, how do you do that in a way that's, and it's a totally different medium than obviously like the Instagram and all the other things, but it's generating crazy pre-sales for her. So I think there's a huge opportunity there.
Yeah, and I think the thing with influencers, and Alexandra, just to answer your question, we do both. So we manage some in-house, and we also have an agency that brings influencers to us. But I think the thing that we really want to get across, and the reason influencers are so important, is that Celerx is genuinely safe for everyone. I mean, we have actually one of our agencies, their baby had a skin condition around their eye, and they used it on their baby that was less than 1 year old, and it got rid of it. So you can be a breastfeeding mom, you can be pregnant, you can be just you, and you can use it, and there really are no known side effects. So I think seeing various people use it in their daily life, I think is really important, and I think that's where influencers really make a difference for us.
So can we talk about the ingredient that is actually in this that makes it like safe for a baby to use? Because I'm ready to use it on my 11-month-old because she's got a lot of skin stuff, but what exactly, like, is it really safe? And I mean, again, like if that's the case, you guys should be launching and I'm not telling you what you should do, but like launch a baby where I'm looking for stuff for eczema. I'm looking for diaper rash is huge for any of my, so.
Yeah. So originally, ingredient, it's hypochlorous acid and saline. It has 2 ingredients, hypochlorous acid and saline. It's 0.01% hypochlorous acid. So originally we had a product that was a wound cleanser, and it was 0.03% hypochlorous acid, which really dries up infections, and you don't want to spray that on your face because it's going to dry your face. So we reduce the concentration of the solution. So you can use it anywhere on anyone. It's truly safe. You can use it on babies, and it really just, like I said, it kind of penetrates that biofilm without stripping your skin of its natural moisturizers that it needs to keep to stay healthy. Because sometimes you overdo it, right? You have something on your skin, you want to completely dry it out, but then your skin's dry and gets irritated again. So yes, I encourage you all to use it. If you have babies, you can use it on your babies. If you cut yourself, you can use it on a cut, and it really helps heal. It's naturally antimicrobial, and hypochlorous acid is something your body naturally makes inside to kill bacteria and viruses inside your body. So what we've done is patented a pure solution, and we're bringing it to the surface of your skin.
Great. So topical antiviral. I think we all need that at this point at post or in the midst of this experience that we're all going through.
I
Sarah,
use it for everything.
Yeah. Sarah, how are you thinking about marketing? Are you leveraging like TikTok and all the different, digital or social media platforms? Where are you finding most success?
Well, I'm sure Esther and, other people in the cannabis space are very well aware of, social marketing and how tricky that can be. The CBD brands that are able to kind of do Instagram ads and Facebook ads, I think either hit them at the right time before it became such a thing, or kind of just got lucky with it. It's very hard. I will not deny that. We don't run any Instagram or Facebook ads because they get denied from it being cannabis or CBD. We have found a lot of success in podcast placements and gifting more to micro influencers, like you guys have said, but also gifting to actual podcast hosts and letting them kind of live with the product and incorporate it into their routine. And then, if down the line, a couple months later, if they feel like they can speak upon it, then they naturally do. And then we can, kind of discuss more of an actual podcast ad that isn't just super addy and is very natural. That we have found success with. And gifting micro influencers or gifting people in the space that would correlate with our brand. But other than that, it's been a lot of word of mouth, which has helped, and just different people telling everyone, like, you need this, or I swear this works, or that has kind of really been it for us recently. We've had a few different print placements, but other than that, I would say the thing that really has like fully moved the needle has been word of mouth, at least for the first year.
No, I mean, and I think that is one of the best things is when you're like, hey, honey, this is what you need to try, and or all your friends. So I think but there's some really incredible partnerships that you guys could do to really, get the word out. It's really exciting. And then, Esther, how are you thinking about marketing? Since obviously you're probably running into the same challenges, but you have great ideas around weddings and wedding bars and all the things with the IDEO, powerhouses, transforming an industry, and you being one of the few female CEOs in this industry. Tell us about what you're thinking or how you're finding the marketing or thinking about marketing.
So obviously same issues. We actually have a few products that are not specifically smokables that we host on a lookalike website that we are in the process of building out ad campaigns around. So our cleaning solutions, our jars, things to that effect, and really pushing for email collection, but that's a new initiative. Most of the things that we have found historically have been successful have been placements within industrial design, product center, like cool material. There's, uncrate, things to that effect. We found that a lot of our, it's basically just getting it in front of people has been the biggest test. And for us specifically, we're looking for customers who aren't specifically in the cannabis industry. So we've been doing a lot in terms of partnerships with people who, is it working with magazines that are positioned towards surfers who we assume are also using cannabis, and trying to find different designers. We're working this year on trying to partner with more individual artists and bringing in collaborations to hopefully get in front of their audiences more. We gifted pretty heavily into creative communities, graphic designers, photographers, things to that effect, which was really how we built our Instagram audience early on. But the good thing, I guess, about not being able to advertise on Instagram and Facebook is that your customer acquisition cost is usually pretty low. So we've been really trying to find these micro influencers who are the center of their cannabis kind of, everyone we joke is like somebody's weed shaman. So we're like, who's the person that you go to answer all of your cannabis questions? How can we gift that person? And then really advocate for them to further communicate the wonders of the products.
I might have a few people for you, so excited.
Happy to send them things.
And then my last question, because I know we have a couple minutes left, is just big vision for your companies. I'd love to start with Sarah. What's your, you started this to solve a problem. You obviously, are doing, an incredible job just having like that really incredible hero product that people are just loving and the customers are loving. What's your dream for enough?
Oh wow. Well, I would say that I think the dream for enough would be to have everyone stop taking Advil As silly and cliche as that sounds, I think the whole mission behind it is still to naturally relieve period pain. And if we can get people off of pain meds and different ways that they're handling that and kind of bring them into a more natural solution, I think that would still be the main goal, and making it be the thing that you go to grab when you're, you know, in discomfort, and have that be more of the normal solution.
It's great. I mean, I think, you know what, if we can get rid of people taking Advil, which, you know, people are having health issues, and that was like the first thing that you reach for when you get, you know, when you have period pains, you know, if we can kind of refocus, and there are people, you know, I mean, Jamie Schmidt's about to come on, and she, you know, has transformed the deodorant industry, right? So I think that there's, you know, it starts with that idea and that mission of like, I want to solve that for, you know, for myself, because I don't want you know, I don't want to get cancer. I don't want to, you know, have, you know, some issues with, you know, taking these things that, you know, are being kind of pushed to, you know, our generation. But now, you know, I think it's, you know, now I love that you're really, that's a beautiful mission to have. And Bree, what is the big mission with Celerx and all the acquisitions? And obviously you're doing a ton of things, you know, in with the percentage of skincare versus, you know, all the other things, I guess, eye solutions, all that stuff.
Yeah. So how we're a little different. So Nova Bay is actually a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange. So we can only talk about certain things moving forward. But we did have our earnings call last week, and our CEO and Dr. Audrey Kuhn kind of talked about what we're looking at for the first half of next year. And we're really going to focus on expanding that DermaDoctor line. So we're looking at least 4 new products in the Kakadu C, KP Beauty, and Calm Cool and Corrected families of products. And then Audrey will continue to kind of expand both the Avenova and Celerx brands throughout 2022 and 2023. So really just kind of expanding our footprint and really diving in to the skincare market head first.
No, I love that. I love that. And, you know, I think that's right now, it's really interesting because we're at the crossroads of, you know, founder made. We've been working with so many incredible founders. And then a lot of our founders are now having publicly traded companies. And so I think we'll end up doing some great content around the public, you know, markets and bringing a company to market in 2022. So excited to get your executive team involved. And, you know, Esther, you know, one of the few, you know, female CEOs in your industry, you know, you guys have really launched something so beautiful, and congratulations. And with all these patents and patents pending or patents accepted, or where are you guys at with that?
So we have a patent accepted on Bong utility in the United States. We are patented in Canada and the EU on both our Bong and our pipe. We are patent pending on our design for the Bong, and our pipe design is still pending.
It's great. I mean, it's not easy to get those patents. So, and what's the big vision for Session Goods?
I think in a long-term goal, we're really hoping to elevate cannabis to a point where people feel okay accepting that it's also fun. There's a lot in the industry, and every single person that I know has this whole feeling that they need to also qualify that, you know, they're using it because they can't sleep, or they're using it for this. And it's like, people are doing shots, and there is no health benefit for any of that. So we're really hoping that by creating shapes and things that feel more accessible, it's an opportunity for somebody to celebrate what it does for you, in terms of if it is something that helps you relax, or it helps you sleep, or you just, you know, allows you to give yourself a little distance and feel like a kid again. I don't know, I think it's a very playful and fun experience. And I feel that there's a lot of shame around it. So we're really hoping that through the business of what we built and the way that, you know, we're modeling it, it doesn't have to be something that's, you know, taboo.
And I think we're really just on a very, the only initial stages of things being destigmatized. You know, this is, and what we're going to see is there's really no main brands right now in that industry. And, you know, one of the founders of Hue Chocolate, he's very passionate about this. And he said, listen, he's like, this, like, you're going to see a Mondelez, you're going to see like a Nestle, you're going to see this in this industry, but we're so at the beginning of the phase, and it's going to take years to kind of get there, but super exciting for just our world. So very, very congratulations, and we're here to support you. And Alexandra, I just feel like because I've known you for so many years, I like really, I mean, you now, like every time I see some like another, update, and it just made it like warmed my heart when I saw the press this week on the MTA and the whole thing. Like what's your big vision? I mean, for Dame?
My big vision is also just to change consumer behavior when it comes to sexual well-being. I want to see these products in Sephora. I want, to one day, be great to be acquired by a Unilever, to see this product kind of like considered it's just like no big deal. It's like, you want to have a good toothbrush. I mean, I'm that. I'd like also like to see them as medical, like category 1 medical devices. It's like also a weird thing I'd like to see for the category. So yeah, I really just want to help people honor their sexual pleasure because it's such a powerful part of our well-being. So that's the main thing I want to do. Continue to expand to in product offerings and education and all of that.
Thank you guys so much. What an incredible founder roundtable. It's our last of 2021. We're going to be doing some more innovative things with our brands. Get ready for next year, because we'll be having we're really innovating in the industry. We've been told that we are the unicorn of the industry in the events world. So get ready, because we are here to take market share. We're here to take names. We had to navigate this business during a pandemic when nobody could see people, and we are ready to go for 2022. Right, Julia?
Very ready. I have to say, we're approaching the end of the year, and that's the whole Founder Made team is just very excited to see all of you in person next year. So, well, if you're ready, we'll be hugging. But in the meantime, thank you all so much. Thank you, Megan. Great questions.